I have never seen anything as ugly as you are. In a small village nestled between rolling hills and thick forests lived a young woman named Ulema. She was renowned for her unapparelled beauty, her long flowing hair like the night sky, and eyes as deep and mysterious as the ocean. Every man in the village admired her, and every woman envied her. But despite all her beauty, Ulema carried a body no one could see. Her first marriage ended in disgrace. Ulema had given birth to a crippled child, twisted limbs, and a fragile body. Her husband, unable to bear the shame, cast her out of their home, telling her that the gods had punished her for some unknown sin. Broken-hearted, she left the village and returned to her family. Ulema met another man named Chima, who took her as his wife. She hoped for a fresh start, a chance to have a family that would bring her joy and fulfillment, but fate had another plan. Ulema gave birth to another child, but this time, the baby was even more crippled, severely like before. It was completely deformed, and it could hardly move. Chima, unable to endure such a thing, chased her out of the village and abandoned her. Ulema was heartbroken and alone. A beautiful woman abandoned by two husbands, cursed by the gods, with children who could never walk or run or play. She wandered the village in despair, her beauty overshadowed by the grief that weighed her down. She wondered what terrible sin she had committed to deserve such a fate. One day, while walking along the forest road that led to the river, Ulema encountered an old man. His hair was white as snow, and his back was hunched with age. His eyes sparkled with an ancient wisdom that seemed to see straight into her soul. "Good afternoon, daughter," the old man said kindly, his voice soft but strong. Ulema, though weary and burdened by her thoughts, smiled and greeted him in return. As they spoke, she noticed that the old man seemed to be weak from the journey. He asked her for a drink of water, and without hesitation, Ulema went to the small stream nearby and filled a cup, offering to him. "Thank you, my daughter," the old man said, his hands trembling as he took the cup. He drank slowly, savoring the coolness of the water. "You are kind, and I see that you still have much goodness in your heart." Ulema lowered her eyes, feeling a sudden surge of guilt. "I have lost everything," she said. Two husbands, two crippled children, and the village no longer sees me as the beautiful woman they once admired. I do not understand why the gods have cursed me." The old man looked at her, his eyes filled with a deep, sorrowful wisdom. "Not cursed, my child," he said, his voice filled with a strange resonance. "What you call a curse is a result of a wrong you committed years ago." Ulema looked up in a shock. "A wrong? I do not understand." The old man nodded slowly. "Many years ago, when you were still a girl, you came to the river. Here, you met a child who was not like any other, a crippled child like the ones you are betting. You met this child in the river, and you refused to give this child water to drink. Not just that, you pushed the child in the road, and you made the child sustain some injuries. The gods are angry with you for what you did, because that child is the child sent by the gods. So you incurred those things upon yourself, and there's nothing the gods can do about it." Ulema fell on her feet and held the old man's leg. "Please, wise one, please help me. I can't continue like this. I'm sorry for my wrongdoings. I don't know what I was doing there. I was just a child. Please." The old man looked at her and shook his head. "My daughter, I cannot change the mind of the gods. I am only a human like you. But you can appease. Even after appeasing the gods, you will still continue to have crippled children. It is a permanent curse placed on you by the gods. The gods will show you mercy by giving you a man who will love you and your children and take care of you. But your children will remain crippled." Before Uli could raise her head, the old man had disappeared. She looked around, but she didn't find the man. Some years later, Ulema luckily got another man who married her and loved her so much and took care of her and her children. But unfortunately, she couldn't give birth to any child. Ulema's new husband had children from his previous marriage. So he was not bothered about Ulima giving birth for him. So they lived happily ever after. But Ulima was still not happy because of her past mistakes that brought a great shame to her. Dear listeners, it is better to live a good life than to finish living a bad life and begin to seek for forgiveness. Please kindly subscribe to this channel for more beautiful videos.